Red Bull leaders have set a truce. Some hidden details in the 2026 regulations could make them the most important rules in a long time, and Hamilton's move to Ferrari has more to offer than initially realized. Before we get into the video, do consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. In the upcoming F1 2026 season, the use of DRS as a means of overtaking will be replaced by a temporary ERS boost for drivers. On Thursday, the FIA revealed the rule changes for the F1 2026 cars, announcing significant modifications to both chassis and engine regulations, thus heralding a new era for the sport. In an effort to enhance efficiency, handling, and encourage closer competition, the governing body is placing a renewed emphasis on developing nimble cars for F1 2026. These new cars are expected to be 30 kilograms lighter than the current models. Among the anticipated changes, such as transitioning to 100% sustainable fuels and achieving an equal power output between the internal combustion engine and the power unit's electrical ancillaries, by eliminating the MGU-H1 of the most notable alterations pertains to the use of DRS. This decision comes as F1 embraces active aerodynamics for both the front and rear wings. Introduced prior to the F1 2011 season, the drag reduction system sought to facilitate overtaking opportunities by allowing drivers to open a small slot in the rear wing at specific zones on the track if they were within 1 second of the car in front. While DRS will still be in use, it will now be available at all times on the straights to enhance engine efficiency. Instead of relying on DRS to create overtaking opportunities, the car following behind will be granted a temporary ERS, Energy Recovery System boost, referred to as manual override mode. This adjustment was presented by Jean Monchot, the FIA's single-seater technical director, who stated that the decision to adopt a nimble car with less downforce but a strong emphasis on reducing drag had been made about a year ago. Monchot explained that DRS would no longer be used solely for overtaking facilitation. Instead, it would be automatically employed by every car on every straight to reduce drag. The adjustment not only benefits energy consumption, but also allows for higher top speeds, which in turn aids in energy recovery during braking on subsequent straights. Addressing the importance of overtaking in F1 and future regulations, Monchot outlined a two-pronged approach. The first aspect centers around developing an aerodynamic concept that minimizes the loss of performance caused by a car's negative impact on the following car. When attempting an overtake, close proximity to the car ahead is crucial. By ensuring that a car can reasonably follow another through corners without being destabilized by turbulent air, the chances of overtaking are improved. The second aspect involves providing support for overtaking on straights. When two cars are in close proximity, both their rear and front wings will be open. To aid overtaking, the car behind will be allowed to deploy additional ERS for a specific portion of a lap. Instead of the current approach where DRS is activated automatically when a car is within a second of the one ahead, the new system will grant the following car a predefined amount of extra energy for one lap. This energy boost will have the potential to facilitate an overtake towards the end of the straight. The FIA plans to officially ratify the F1 2026 regulations during the World Motorsport Council meeting on June 28th. Helmut Marko has announced that he and Christian Horner have reached a mutual agreement at Red Bull, where they are determined to pool their efforts to continue winning races throughout the current season. Earlier this year, an internal investigation into alleged inappropriate behavior by Christian Horner, conducted by Red Bull GmbH, was concluded without any substantiation. Nevertheless, rumors of an underlying power struggle between Horner and senior advisor Marko persisted, despite Horner publicly denying any rift between them. As team principal and CEO of Red Bull Racing, Horner holds a senior position within the Red Bull organization. Similarly, Marko's role as a senior advisor means that he directly reports to Red Bull GmbH rather than to Horner or the team itself. Before the start of the season, there were some uncertainties surrounding Marko's future with the team. However, he later clarified that he would continue in his current position. As Red Bull's previous dominance has been challenged recently, Marko expressed his commitment to collaborate closely with Horner for the benefit of the team, especially as their competitors have steadily closed the gap between them. Marko disclosed in an interview with the Austrian publication Kronen Zeitung that a truce has been established with Horner. The objective now is to join forces and strive for victory, even if Red Bull is no longer the outright favorite. Marco emphasized their determination to maximize their performance and set their sights on the World Championship title. Reflecting on the progress of the season so far, Marco acknowledged that Red Bull's competitors, namely McLaren and Ferrari, have made significant gains and are applying pressure to his team. Furthermore, Marco reiterated his recent claims that rival teams have been imitating certain aspects of Red Bull's designs. He believes this is a natural occurrence during the current stage of the regulations and sees it as a foreseeable consequence. In Monaco, Red Bull encountered difficulties keeping up with Ferrari and McLaren, particularly when it came to maneuvering over curbs. Therefore, with Canada's similar curb profiles, Marco expressed doubts about the team's chances of emerging as favorites for the upcoming race in Montreal. He stated, "Ferrari performs better there, especially in terms of top speed. Consequently, we cannot consider ourselves as frontrunners going into Canada this weekend." Carlos Sainz is reported to have signed a contract for the upcoming F1 2025 season. The official announcement is anticipated to occur around the time of the Spanish Grand Prix later this month. After Ferrari revealed the signing of Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, for a multi-year deal in F1 2025, Sainz found himself without a seat for the next season. Despite his strong start to the current season, which culminated in a win at the Australian Grand Prix, Sainz's chances of attracting interest from teams like Mercedes and Red Bull have diminished in recent weeks. PlanetF1.com, in a report prior to the Monaco Grand Prix, stated that Sainz was no longer in contention to replace Hamilton at Mercedes. Instead, the team is keeping an eye on Max Verstappen's situation at Red Bull. Furthermore, Red Bull recently confirmed Sergio Perez's 2-year contract, dispelling any uncertainty about the Mexican driver's future. As a result, Sainz's options now seem to revolve around Mercedes customers Williams and the current Sauber team, which will transition to Audi in F1 2026. According to a report from Spanish publication The Objective, Sainz has apparently signed a contract for the next F1 season. The document has been verified by a law firm in Madrid, Sainz's hometown. While the specifics of his destination are unknown, the report strongly suggests that Sainz's future lies with Williams. An official announcement is expected before the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona on June 23rd, although PlanetF1.com has not been able to independently confirm these claims prior to publication. There were widespread speculations that Sainz would join Audi following his departure from Ferrari, with Helmut Marko, a long-serving Red Bull advisor, revealing before the Chinese Grand Prix this season that the German manufacturer had made an enticing 3-year contract offer to the 29-year-old driver. However, as Sauber remains the only team yet to score any points in F1 2024, and concerns persist regarding how long it would take Audi to establish a successful team, Sainz has been exploring alternative options on the market. Recent reports from Germany suggest that Williams has become an attractive choice for him. A potential 1-year deal, with the option for an additional year on Sainz's side, could provide him with the opportunity to evaluate the market before the significant regulation changes in F1 2026. Williams could prove to be a viable long-term option for the new era of Formula One, particularly as their engine partners, Mercedes, are reportedly well prepared for the rule changes in F1 2026. Williams experienced a surge in performance when the V6 hybrid engines were introduced in 2014, securing 3rd place in the constructors' standings with 9 podium finishes. This was a notable improvement from their meager 5 points in the final season of the V8 era in 2013. James Vowles, the team principal of Williams, aims to finalize their driver lineup for F1 2025 in the coming weeks. He also hinted at the potential signing of a noteworthy driver, reflecting the team's progress 18 months into his tenure. Sainz himself expressed confidence that a deal would be reached swiftly once he makes a decision about his future. While he hasn't made up his mind yet and hasn't set any deadlines, he emphasized the importance of carefully considering his options as he approaches his 30th birthday this year. Sainz assured the media that once he reaches a decision, it will be executed promptly, aiming to assemble all the necessary elements for his next adventure. Former team principal Eddie Jordan has predicted fireworks for Lewis Hamilton when he joins Ferrari, and believes he will give an almighty crack at the F1 2025 World Championship. Hamilton will form a star-studded driver lineup next season when he joins Ferrari to partner Charles Leclerc, with the 7-time world champion also linking up with his former team boss Fred Vasseur, with whom he worked while rising through the junior categories. Hamilton has not won a race since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in what is the longest winless streak of his illustrious career, with Mercedes having won once in the ground effect era through George Russell in Brazil in 2022. While Hamilton and Russell have continued to score podiums, Mercedes taking second place in the Constructors' Championship last season, this year has been more of a struggle for the 8-time Constructors' Champions, who currently sit fourth in the standings. With a change of scene coming after more than a decade with the team, former team owner Jordan believes this comes at an opportune time for Hamilton, with his move to Ferrari a chance to work at a magic place in Formula One. "I think his mojo was up at Mercedes. I think he needed a new home," Jordan explained on the Formula for Success podcast. And often the case is when the time and the pressure and the stress on people is so intense, you need to find another set of parameters, and I think that's why Lewis went there. "I truthfully don't believe it's to do with contracts or money. I think he feels that he would like to see his career finish at Ferrari because it's a magic place to go. And he intends to go to live in Italy, which I can understand. He intends to learn the language fluently, and I think they're all very important aspects, because if you don't do that, you will not be ingratiated within the Ferrari confines. Can he win a world championship in the future? I think they are very strong. We are all very impressed with Fred Vasseur because I think Fred has brought a magic calm to that team. If you can see it, it's a bit like what McLaren is doing, and that is they're slowly catching the monkey, and the monkey being Red Bull. So they're slowly catching up, and that's great for us because we will actually see better high-quality races and hopefully, we won't see Max going into the distance 20 or 30 seconds in the front." Jordan's co-host, 13-time Grand Prix winner David Coulthard, wondered if Hamilton would be able to battle the natural curve of driving past his 40th birthday, particularly with Leclerc as a teammate. While he pointed out his wish to see a close battle at the Scuderia next year, and that he would be delighted to see Hamilton at his best, Coulthard said the challenge of Leclerc on the other side of the garage will be a tough one. "How do you think he's going to coexist with Charles Leclerc?" Coulthard asked Jordan. "I've said that personally, Charles at 27, one of the fastest guys, is going to be a big challenge for Lewis. He's going to be 40. I'm not questioning Lewis's brilliance, but it's just the natural curve in someone's career. I've got to believe that Lewis is at the point where he's got all of the experience, but I can't believe he's getting quicker at that age. And I know that it's going to upset the Lewis fans, but obviously, I would be delighted to see that he's defying age, and it's going to be a close battle between him and Charles." "My opinion, I disagree," he said, "because I think certainly for next year, 25, the new rules will not be in place, so he will be effectively driving what is the car that he's got that is there this year." Thanks for watching the video, everyone. See you in the next one.